Hey, it's James here, and in this quick video, I want to give you an update on Bitcoin and help put your mind at ease if you're somebody who wants to invest in Bitcoin. Maybe you're feeling a little bit of FOMO, maybe deep down you're a little bit hesitant and you're just not sure what the right move is. So essentially, Bitcoin right now, it's had a nice little bounce off of that $59,000 test. It's up to about 65,000 or so. Nothing in the chart so far guarantees that the bottom is in. In fact, what we got was we got a deeply oversold level on RSI. It was the most oversold that Bitcoin had been, if I remember correctly, since 2018. So this was like an 8-year low on the RSI. That alone would make me expect some type of recovery bounce. And then if we go over and we look at a larger time frame, for example, a weekly chart, there's actually a bullish divergence here that started in oversold territory. So back here was our low. RSI was making lows down around 26 at this point. And of course, over here, we made a slightly lower low. Some people get confused because the tails, but tails don't matter for divergences. What you're actually looking at is you're looking at the candlestick close. Put it on a line chart, you can clearly see that this was a lower low while this was a higher low. So there was a bullish divergence there. Again, that would make me think there was some type of bounce due. So far, that's all par for the course. And I'm not saying that I can guarantee the bottom is not in because I can't do that. What I can tell you is if you use data and you look at history, at no point in Bitcoin's history has it ever V-bottomed versus the QQQ during a bear market. There was a period here in 2020 where it did V-bottom, but even this V-bottom actually came after some consolidation, and it really wasn't like a standard bear market. The bear market, ended in December of 2018, had a small dead cat bounce or echo bubble, and then put in this low. So a little bit different than what we're experiencing today. At the end of the bear markets, if you're counting them as like an 8 to 12 month area, all throughout history, going all the way back over a decade, we can see that Bitcoin, sold off, consolidated against the broader tech market, and then started a new bull run. It sold off. This was actually in the summer of 2013, which was a smaller bubble that a lot of people don't talk about. It then sold off, consolidated for several candlesticks. These are weekly candlesticks, and then started the pump toward what ended up being roughly $1,000 in the end of 2013. Had a bear market versus US dollars and equities. Again, ended up consolidating. It started that consolidation around January of 2015, and it really stayed in that consolidation for nearly a year before it broke out. If we look at the 2017 bubble pop, it came down. It actually consolidated for several months, ended up capitulating, puking down, and then consolidated from roughly December all the way through March before it broke out in April. So there was about a 3 to 4 month period where you had an opportunity to get reinvested in Bitcoin if you had sold off. If we go over to the 2022 bear market, of course, it bottomed here, consolidated for a few months, capitulated down. This capitulated in November, and then it essentially just kind of consolidated and climbed up slightly all the way through January. So you had about a 2-month period where you could get reinvested. And really, all of this was consolidation from back here in June of 2022. All of this was one big consolidation all the way until September of 2023 or even October. So you had about a year there where you had a chance to get back into a Bitcoin position before Bitcoin started a true bull market versus US dollars. And so if we look at the current market, this is what I believe is happening. I've been talking about this for several months. This looks like euphoria, complacency, anxiety, denial. And so this right now looks like we are now in the panic phase of the market cycle versus QQQ, which would be this sell-off right here. And if you look, if this plays out like the Wall Street cheat sheet implies, we should get a few months to even several months of consolidation before a bottom forms. And this is versus the broader tech market. This also lines up very nicely with the idea that Bitcoin has 12-month bear markets. If the 4-year cycle continues to hold true and we continue to see 12-month bear markets, then Bitcoin should bottom sometime around October of 2026, which of course will line up very nicely with this chart. So I can't guarantee you that this is what's going to happen again because nobody can. What I can say is, historically speaking, this is the way Bitcoin has behaved in the past. It has never been one of those cases where you get one shot and one shot only to get involved. Most of the time, the market gives you plenty of time to get reinvested in Bitcoin before the train leaves the station. If you enjoy data-driven content, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. As always, please remember that I'm some guy sitting in a spare bedroom, so nothing in this video is financial advice. You should always go out and do your own due diligence and seek out professional financial advice from a licensed financial advisor for making any type of investment in cryptocurrency, the stock market, precious metals, forex, or any other tradable asset. Thanks for watching. I truly appreciate it. And as always, please remember to trade and invest safely.